Hello and welcome. I'm Sanjay Pinto. Every time there's a bomb blast in the country, we can't help feeling vulnerable. All of us would have questions running on our head. How safe are we at malls, at theatres, at parks, at government offices, at railway stations and at airports? How safe are our children in school? Life has become so fragile because terror knows no region. The blast at the Delhi High Court is yet another cruel, grim reminder that we just cannot afford to let our guard down, and that security must be of a very high order, not just on Independence Day or Republic Day, but round the year 24/7. That is our right as citizens. But then we have duties too, a duty to be vigilant, a duty to assist all those who are part of our security apparatus and indeed each other. As for the central government, can you imagine it took them so many blasts and so many lives to decide to undertake a trip to Scotland Yard to see how to use CCTVs effectively. Why didn't it happen earlier? Because of a bureaucratic hold-up. That's not surprising anyway in our country. Anyway, on the big question, tonight, how secure are we in Tamil Nadu? Joining us live from his residence will be Mr. R. Natraj, former Director General of Police. I often wonder if I should still say former. In our studio, Dr. P. Chandrasekharan, in fact, the country's best known forensic scientist. He's the former director of the Tamil Nadu Forensic Science Laboratory and a professor of the National Law School University. Thank you very much, Dr. Chandrasekharan, for joining us.
Thank you.
Also joining us live from his office is Ashwin Kutnis, Deputy Commissioner of Police, St. Thomas Mount. But all that and will come up in a short while from now after the headlines and the top stories on that big blast in Delhi with Ashwit Kumar. Ashwit?
That's right, Sanjay. Let's take a look at the top stories at this hour. Shockwaves of the blast in the capital travel to Chennai. Security is beefed up in key locations. Political leaders condemn the attacks.
இந்தியாவின் தலைநகரம் டெல்லி அங்கேயே இப்படிப்பட்ட ஒரு சூழலை என்றால் கேட்பதற்கே படிப்பதற்கே வேதனையாக இருக்குது.
Massive overload for courts in Tamil Nadu. Courts are saddled with a backlog of almost 17 lakh cases. Our alternative dispute resolution center is the solution. A 2.5-year-old child falls into a 250 feet deep borewell. The boy is stuck at a depth of 20 feet. Rescue operations are underway. Reforming and counselling is the theme of the new wave of prison reforms. Telephone lines and psychiatrists to greet inmates. The state exchequer is in high spirits as the TASMAC sales rake in near 15,000 crore rupees. After yesterday's eviction, DMK stages yet another walkout. Party calls on the governor to protest the land grab offensive. And after hitting record highs, gold offers customers some respite ahead of the festive season. Prices fall by over 1,500 rupees. Well, a very good evening, and of course the top story at this hour is Black Wednesday. That's the blast in Delhi High Court premises. We'll of course be tracking the latest developments. Let's take a look. Black Wednesday for Delhi. A terror attack at the Delhi High Court leaves 11 dead, 76 injured. Terror group Huji claims responsibility, says stop Afzal's hanging. The Home Minister says police was given some intelligence in July of this year. Were the warnings ignored? BJP leaders visit the blast site, slam the government saying zero intelligence on this terror strike is equal to intelligence failure. CCTVs whose footage could have been crucial were missing at the court. Despite approvals, why weren't they installed? All agencies passed the buck. And Rahul Gandhi visits the injured and is met with protests at the hospital. Well, first up, 11 people have been confirmed dead and 76 others are injured. Now, the militant outfit of Harkat-ul-Jihad al-Islami or Huji has claimed responsibility for the blast, saying that it was sending out a message for Parliament attack convict Afzal Guru's death sentence to be repealed. Now, the National Investigation Agency, which was formed after the 26/11 attacks, is probing the blast and says that it's taking the email very seriously. Now, the NIA has set up a 20-member special team to handle this case. Now, the results of forensic tests are expected soon. The Home Minister, meanwhile, has said in Parliament that intelligence pertaining to threats emanating from certain groups was shared with the Delhi police in July this year. But the political blame game has already begun, with the BJP attacking the Home Ministry in no uncertain terms. Well, the Delhi police, in fact, has released 2 sketches of the man believed to be responsible for today's terror attack based on descriptions provided by eyewitnesses. Well, the Home Minister P. Chidambaram said in Parliament that intelligence had been shared with the Delhi police on July 27th. He also said that the attack had taken place despite Delhi police being in a state of high alert. Now, he noted that Delhi is a target of several terrorist groups. He also pointed out that the city is placed under high alert when the Parliament is in session.
Despite the capacity that has been built and despite Delhi police remaining on high alert, the tragic incident occurred today. The objective of terrorist groups is to strike fear and to destabilize the country. We are clear in our mind that there is no cause that will justify terrorist acts. Government unequivocally condemns the terrorist attack that took place today. The investigation of the case will be entrusted to the NIA. On behalf of the government, I offer my sincere condolences to the families of those who lost their lives. I offer my sympathies to those who have been injured, and I assure the House that we will extend the best medical treatment to the injured. At this point of time, I appeal to the House and to the people of the country that we must remain resolute and united. We must not show any vacillation. We shall never be intimidated by terrorist groups. We are determined to track down the perpetrators of this horrific crime and bring them to justice.
And while the Prime Minister, currently in Dhaka, slammed the blast, calling it a cowardly attack, he also assured that India will not succumb to such attacks.
This is a cowardly act of a terrorist nature. We will deal with it. We will never succumb to the pressure of terrorism. And this is a long war in which all political parties, all the people of India have to stand united so that the scourge of terrorism is crushed.
Well, meanwhile, back home in Chennai, the DMK chief too slammed the attacks and expressed disappointment at the apparent intelligence failure in the capital.
இந்தியாவின் தலைநகரத்திலே இருக்கக்கூடாது. ஏற்கனவே பாராளுமன்றத்தில் பிள்ளையே இது ஒன்றும் நிலைமை ஏற்பட்டது. இப்பொழுது உயர்நீதிமன்றத்தில் டெல்லியில் ஏற்பட்டிருக்கிறது. இந்தியாவின் தலைநகரம் டெல்லி, அங்கேயே இப்படிப்பட்ட ஒரு சூழ்நிலை என்றால் கேட்பதற்கே படிப்பதற்கே வேதனையாக இருக்கிறது.
And well, the shockwaves of the blast in the capital sent ripples across the leading metros, and the ripple effect was also felt in Chennai, with security agencies gearing up for possible threats. Now, in fact, security deployments were increased in locations such as the Madras High Court. On an average, 80 policemen and women are deployed at the High Court, but today the strength was increased to 120. Now, each of the 5 entry points to the High Court were also being closely monitored by teams of an inspector, 2 sub-inspectors and 10 police constables. The police also kept a close eye on the 2,500 cars and 2,700 two-wheelers that are parked daily within the High Court premises.
We improved our security now. There are 5 gates for the High Court to come inside. So each gate is manned by one inspector, 2 sub-inspector and 10 other ranks. So 5 gates have been manned by an inspector level officer, and we are taking stock of all the vehicles which are coming inside, and all lordships have been taken care of, the judges. The POSs have been briefed about the security things. It is in control.
Well, now for the big question on our safety and our security, it's over to our executive editor, Sanjay.
Thank you, Ashmit. We are joined, as I said earlier, by Dr. P. Chandrasekharan, former director of the Tamil Nadu Forensic Science Laboratory, professor of the National Law School, and arguably the country's best forensic scientist. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us in our studio. Also joining us from his residence is Mr. R. Nataraj, former Director General of Police. I often wonder, as I said at the intro, whether I should still say former Director General of Police. Also, a young officer who's at the helm of security in Chennai and St. Thomas Mount, Ashwin Kotnis, Deputy Commissioner of Police. Ashwin, to you first, what's the drill like in Chennai whenever there is a blast elsewhere in the country? Is it a sort of knee-jerk reaction that we often witness?
I wouldn't call it knee-jerk reaction. Actually, there is a standard operating procedure when we deal with the situation. There are different kinds of standard operating procedures for different situations, and we have certain formats. For a bomb blast, let's say we would have railway stations, bus stands, vehicle checks organized, those kind of things, which are part of standard drill. There are big manuals which we act upon. So this is definitely not a knee-jerk reaction. It goes by a pattern.